old people on stage jumping around. That's a young man's game.
Yeah.
No one ever anticipated 80-year-old rock stars singing rock and roll in their 80s.
No doubt, no doubt. By the way, I heard David Lee on your show.
Yeah, he's been on a couple times.
Man, I mean, that band, to me, when I was in high school, I think I was in 9th grade the first time I fucking heard him. I was into Sabbath. My brother got me into Sabbath. And then I was walking up to a fucking party. It was like one of my first house keg parties. And Van Halen was blaring over somebody's Pioneer system. And it was fucking, like, Ain't Talking About Love or some shit. And I remember just going, what? This is the greatest shit I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah. They were the kings in the 80s, dude. They were the kings. When I was in high school,
yes,
everybody knew how to make that Van Halen logo on your notebook.
Yeah, the notebook. It was either VH, Queen,
AC/DC,
Zeppelin, AC/DC.
Kiss.
Yeah.
They were the kings. They were the kings.
Yeah.
But, you know, we never thought they'd be still doing it.
No, that's right. And then you'd see Van Halen the last few years live, and you'd fucking be still as excited.
Yeah.
They still look smooth as shit. I saw it with David Lee Roth maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
He's such a character, man.
Oh,
you know, he doesn't have a phone. He doesn't even keep money on him. I went to dinner with him, and he has a lady that drops him off with me, and she's like his handler. And she says, I have her number. She has my number. She's like, call me if anything goes wrong. Right. You know, and just you're hanging out with David Lee Roth, having dinner with him. I
love him talking about fighting with you, and because you loved him throwing those crazy roundhouse kicks.
Oh, yeah. He was a real martial artist.
Yeah.
He used to train with Benny Urquidez.
That's right.
Yeah, he used to do those things on stage. We'd do like a jumping split kick in the middle of the air.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, look at him.
Yeah.
He's a real athlete, man.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a stud. Fucking sweet dick on him right there. But look at that guy.
Look at that picture. He's got his pants hanging down.
Yeah, just enough to show a little hip bone.
What is that? Showing some dick root. He's a character, man. Still to this day, he's out to lunch, man.
He'll say some interesting shit. He's smart, knows his shit. Whatever he's into, he's deep into it.
That guy moved to Japan to train kendo, which is a sword fighting art.
Right.
Just him and his dog.
Yeah.
Lived in an apartment in Japan for like years.
Man.
Just training kendo.
Anytime you heard that they weren't getting along, you were just like, they what?
Yeah.
Fucking.
You know how that goes, though.
Yeah. Oh, anytime you're with 4 fucking people too much, shit's gonna go wrong.
Yeah. Especially those egos and the bands, and then girlfriends don't like that guy, and then
right, yeah, that shit happens.
It's like Valerie Bertinelli apparently didn't get along with David Lee Roth, and
that's gonna be painful.
That's how it goes. It's hard for bands to stick together, you know. I think that's way harder.
I remember you two would always be in interviews talk about how cool it is that they're still a rock band together.
Yeah,
the 4 of them loving each other.
If you can get a band that enjoys each other's company, that's a fucking tremendous, tremendous asset. Because so many bands, like I was just reading today, that Pete Townsend doesn't talk to the rest of the guys in The Who. He doesn't talk to Roger Daltrey. They don't talk to each other.
Wow.
Like, how?
That's funny, man. I just saw them. I just saw The Who at a benefit, and they fucking destroyed. It was Daltrey's benefit, and he brought The Who on there, and I think drummer was maybe Ringo's kid, and if I remember, or it's either Ringo's kid or John Bonham's kid. Anyways, it was great. But Pete and Roger were funny as shit, ragging on each other and saying quick little insults, and it was like massive laughs, like a comedian. But then they'd fucking have those hits that just take your whole body over, and it was great.
Yeah, I don't know where they stand now or why they stand that way, but I was just reading an article this morning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
That they don't talk to each other.
It makes sense. These guys, like I remember hearing Sabbath on tour would fucking all show up in different planes. Yeah. Like, I don't know if any of it's true, but you're like, fucking Tony Iommi and Ozzy don't fucking hang out the whole time? Like,
well, there's always a problem in a band where the lead singer becomes the number one guy. And everybody else is kind of secondary. You know?
Yeah, that's gonna make you pissy.
The
for
band's called Van Halen, but the main guy's David Lee Roth.
sure. Right.
That's the guy everybody wants. Ain't talking about love.
Man,
you know?
badass.
Yeah. Oh my God. Hot for teacher. He was the man. And so like I could see how egos and feathers would get ruffled, and then the girlfriend on the side would be like, the band's named Van Halen. It's not named Lee Roth. Okay?
Yeah. Definitely. That's
Fuck
gonna
that
happen.
guy.
Fuck that guy,
He's
and then
got-
you got to stand behind it.
He's got all the groupies and.
Yeah, man. Well, but they had some. Him and Eddie both had the different people would talk about who's the greatest. It'd be like David Lee Roth was just the smoothest and funniest and fucking.
One of the greatest frontmen of all time.
Fuck it.
For sure.
He was like a stand-up. Just dominated the crowd. Just like, I think there was some tape going around with. Remember some shit just like, that's okay, man, because after the show, I'm going to fuck your girlfriend. I don't know. Maybe that was David Lee Roth or somebody else. But as a kid, you were like, oh, my God, fucking what? That was the coolest shit ever. But then I remember Eddie Van Halen, when Jump came out, the video, and seeing him smile and throw down that fucking lead, and you were just like, is that the coolest fuck on the planet? With like overalls.
Oh, yeah.
No shirt over. I went with the fucking no shirt overalls move one time.
Really?
Didn't go over
On stage?
Didn't get the respect. Not as a stand-up, but thought I was gonna get more respect. But I was on stage at a battle of the bands. I used to sing and play guitar in a band, and I went. I think my mom tie-dyed my overalls and shit, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm going. And I showed up, and people making too much eye contact with me, not wanting to look down at the fucking overalls. Pathetic.
It's a bold choice.
It was one I couldn't make now.
One of the funniest choices is what if you look back at like the metal days. Like you look back at like all the guys who dressed up like gay bikers.
Right.
It's from Judas Priest.
Judas Priest,
It's
yeah.
Rob Halford.
Yeah,
Tricked everybody into
Yes.
dressing like a gay biker
Yeah.
because he was gay.
I loved it. Yes.
So he's like leather pants and the fucking leather biker helmet on and
man.
a vest with no shirt on underneath.
Yes.
And all these guys started dressing like that.
course, yes.
And they didn't even understand
No, yeah,
that they had been tricked into dressing like a gay biker.
Yeah, I love that, man. That's a great one. Man.
He
I
was
saw
so
them,
cool.
I saw them at fucking Radio City with Iron Maiden.
Really?
That was a biggie.
Wow.
I was up in the balcony screaming, I want to dress like you. No, it was
Yeah,
good.
look
yeah,
at
the
him, man.
boy. Yeah.
I mean, come on, dude.
Fucking the Hellion. Yeah. They were nasty. That's a
You
tough
got
looking guy.
another thing coming.
Yeah, that was a
Look at
biggie.
him there with his fucking crazy outfits.
Yeah.
It's just so funny, all the different styles of bands that existed.
Oh man, I had fucking pleather pants. I wore fake leather pants for a bit. I didn't know my body wasn't great. So I was like, you throw that shit on, you look like a rock star. Then I'd fucking see the pictures that my mom took of me after. I looked back and be like, how the fuck did you let me out wearing that shit? It never fit just right. I never had the body for like I would walk into a clothing store growing up. There was a place, Sarah Silverman, the comedian.
Sure, yeah, I know Sarah.
She grew up in same town as me, and her parents had a store called Junior Deb, I believe, and it was downtown. They sold Levi jeans and all this shit, and I remember just going, okay, I'm gonna get some cool ass Levi's, go to school, look like a badass. And I remember when I saw a three-way mirror, I was like, these aren't fitting me like I thought. I don't look as cool in my Levi's as I thought I was.
You had an idea of your image.
I saw other people wearing that shit going, all right, I'm going to dress like that guy, but it didn't reflect the same when I had it on.
Again, youthful delusion.
Delusion, yeah.
Yeah.
Took a
Did you want to be in a band before you wanted to be a comic?
Mm-hmm. Wanted that for sure.
What kind of music did you guys sing?
We did a lot of Aerosmith, a lot of Van Halen, a lot of Sabbath, Zeppelin.
Aerosmith just canceled their tour.
I know.
I guess Steven Tyler, he had that neck injury where he fell and broke one of the bones in his neck.
Yeah.
And apparently he just can't sing.
Open his mouth to sing it.
They were planning on doing a thing with the Black Crowes. And,
wow.
Yeah. And they just, for whatever reason, decided to put the tour out and get going. And then He started and he was like, I can't do it anymore. I'm
That
done.
is painful.
Yeah.
Man, because the guy's whole life was that. And by the way, fucking, did you like Aerosmith growing up?
Loved them.
They were the bad boys that every tune was nasty.
Oh,
That
yeah.
shit was the nastiest.
Push that microphone up to your face. There.
Sorry, bro.
No worries.
And I loved. My band played literally like 10 Aerosmith tunes. We'd always fucking play kind of cool ones, not the massive hits, but the whatever, the Mama Kins and the Walking the Dog and kind of cool shit like that.
Well, we both grew up in New England, and they were the Kings.
They were the Kings of New England.
They were the Kings.
Yes, yes.
That was they were the fucking
WAAF.
band. Look at that. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Joe Perry. Yeah.
BCN.
Yeah. BCN AAF. What was the kind of alternative
Tyler.
one?
He was the fucking man.
Could hit every fucking note. How about the fact that I read something that he's a cool bastard, and I met him, and they're all great guys.
Joe Perry, he's a great guy too.
Fucking best. That's a New England accent too on Joe Perry.
Oh yeah.
It's funny to hear the boys talk. I think somebody lived in New Hampshire. Maybe Steven Tyler lived in New Hampshire because that's where I grew up, and they definitely they owned New Hampshire.
Well, they were the Kings of Boston. Like they were fucking gigantic. Yeah. I remember the controversy when they did that duet. They did that song with Run DMC when they did "Walk This Way."
What the fuck?
I know. Everybody was like, "What's going on?"
That don't make no sense. I know.
Meanwhile, that's a fucking great song.
That was when fucking Aerosmith came back.
Yeah,
like they became the Kings again.
Exactly. That was their big comeback song. They're kind of faded for a while. Yeah. And then "Walk This Way" came along, and it's like
great.
Young people started getting into them again.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's funny how bands like they get